Hold up. Wait a minute.
This is Carla Renata, aka the Curvy Critic, and I shoot straight from the hip.
Yeah, you know I'm always shooting straight from the hip.
Let's take a trip around the curve.
Hi everybody, how you doing? It's so good to be back. I meant to do this a couple of days ago, but baby, I was doing that AFI Film Festival. My hair is like, what is happening? I was doing the AFI Film Festival, bunch of stuff. But anyway, my name is Carla Renata. You have tuned into the Curvy Critic with Carla Renata. I do this every week. I talk about movies, and sometimes I talk to people above and below the line, talent-wise, on television and in film. And I got a full house for you today. But before I get into it, let me tell you what I did the week before. So my week started out going to see the screening of Forgetting You at Paramount Pictures. It ended up being like a girls' night. So we were all kind of like just hanging out. So that's me and the girls. And it was a great film. I'll talk about that in a minute. Then I hopped on over to the celebration of Latino cinema and television, which honored, in this picture, you see the lovely America Ferrera, who was the star of Superstore, a show I had the pleasure of being on for 5 years. That's her and activist, civil rights activist Dolores Huerta. And Dolores, honey, set the room on fire with a speech that talked about how we are more alike than we are. Room up on fire, and it just set the tone for the afternoon. While I was there, I also said hello to another honoree, Tonatiuh from Kiss of the Spider Woman. He was being honored as well. And then that's like a little short picture of me on the red carpet doing my thing. All right, so there's that. Let me get rid of this little comment thing. I'm gonna get rid of that. There we go. So yeah, so that happened. And then the AFI Fest started, and I was so excited. It's one of my favorite festivals to attend throughout the year. It opened with Bruce Springsteen, of course, the boss, Delivered Me from Nowhere, starring Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. It deals with Bruce Springsteen's troubles with depression while he was writing the album Nebraska. And then later on in the week, they showed a video of Nebraska Live starring Bruce Springsteen. But this picture is from opening night, where he got up and he sang a little ditty for us. He sang Atlantic City. And that's just how close I was. It was really great. And I really enjoyed it. And so did the audience. It was a packed house. Then I went to see Jay Kelly, where I went to the after party there, and I'm there with my girls in that picture. Then I hopped on some other things at the AFI Fest. So there was Song Sung Blue closed it out. It's a film that deals with a Neil Diamond tribute band. I'll get into that in a minute, starring Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. The after party there's Mr. Craig Brewer with Mr. Sam Jackson. And then today I'm going to talk about some other films that were at the festival, including Nuremberg, The Coral, and Dead Man's Wire. In addition to all of that, I'm going to talk about Stitchhead and Hedda. And I also have an interview from Hedda. I know if that wasn't enough, I attended the SAG convention. I'm a SAG delegate, which I was lucky enough to be elected to that position. And we honored through the American Scene Awards. We gave the Music and Sound Recordings Award to I Lied to You from Sinners, written by that young man on the right, and Miles Caton, who was the star of the film and sang the song. We also honored Colors, a dialogue on race in America, and gave it the Belva Davis News and Broadcast Award. And Sinners was also bestowed the Entertainment Award. And there was a plethora of awards that happened. But the thing is that the convention is for SAG delegates, where we get to vote on resolutions and make a difference in our union. And I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and I do not take it lightly. I just wanted to remind you guys that my Christmas movie that's coming to OWN hits OWN HBO Max on November 6th. It's on November 6th. You guys want to check it out. It stars Corbin Reed, Amber West, and Loretta Devine, myself, and Oba Babatunde. And these are the other films that will be playing on Also, Fake a Little Merry Christmas with my boy Etienne Maurice, who is the son of Cheryl Lee Ralph, and Very Merry Mystery. All of three are original movies, and they will be playing every Saturday this holiday season, beginning in December. And there's a cast picture of us all. I just love that picture, although I don't have that hair anymore. Okay. In addition to all of that, y'all, I went to an Apple TV afternoon junket thing where I talked to Karen Pittman, and I finally got a chance to talk to Jennifer Aniston and Billy Crudup. So I have all of those interviews for you guys today. All right, so let's get into my roundup for the AFI Fest. We're going to get into Hedda first. Hedda is in theaters right now, and it is a provocative reimagining of Henrik Ibsen's classic play, Hedda. Hedda is played by Tessa Thompson, and she finds herself torn between the lingering ache of a past love and the quiet suffocation of her present life. What I love to say about this film is that it has this really lovely, tasteful LGBTQ plus storyline, and they do this gender swap with Nina Hoss's character Eileen. In the Ibsen play, the character that Nina Hoss is playing is usually a man. This time they swapped it and had it be a woman so that the storyline could be an LGBTQ plus storyline, which I kind of love. And Hedda is a film about being controlled versus being the controller. Because Hedda likes to use people in her life as puppets and control everything. It's got elements of like Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, because of course Hedda's husband's name is George, which I thought was hilarious. That I'm making the comparison to Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf and his name is George. But anyway, the movie is nuts, but Tessa Thompson and Nina Hoss in this film are absolutely amazing. I'm going to play the interview in just a minute, but before I do, I want to get through the rest of these films at AFI Fest. Nuremberg hits theaters on November 7th. It stars Russell Crowe and Rami Malek. It's from Sony Pictures Classic. As the Nuremberg trials are set to begin, U.S. Army psychiatrist Douglas Kelly gets locked in a dramatic psychological showdown with accused Nazi war criminal Hermann Goring, played by Russell Crowe. Crowe's monologue about his uncle abusing his mom is Oscar-worthy, hands down. And the scene between him and Rami Malek, where they have like I guess a war of the wills, so to speak, in his cell, that face-off is worth the price of admission alone. Leo Woodall plays Howie in this movie. Leo Woodall also is the young man that I gave raves about in a film called Tuner that just got distribution, but we don't have a release date yet, where he plays a piano tuner who has a little bit of a hearing problem. The actual footage in Nuremberg of the Nazi war camps viscerally will move you in a way that you won't see coming. Watching bulldozers crawl over thousands of bodies like trash is an image that I will never forget for the rest of my life, and made this film very powerful for me. The pacing is kind of slow in the middle, but Malek and Crowe kind of more than make up for it. And there's a couple of things that are said in the film that really struck me. When they were talking about the Nazi war criminals and deciding whether, because this is based on a true event, is fictionalized, but it's based on a true event. So at some point, the U.S. Army is talking about how they're going to deal with these Nazi war criminals. And they say, if we shoot them, then we make them martyrs. And they also say, and there's a scene, in the scene I mentioned between Russell Crowe and Rami Malek, Russell Crowe as Hermann Goring's character says to Rami Malek, he says, just because a man is an ally doesn't mean he is on your side. Just because a man is an ally doesn't mean he is on your side. We are living in those times right now. And baby, that line hit me stronger than I ever in my life thought it could. Song Sung Blue is going to hit theaters on Christmas Day. It also played at the AFI Fest. It stars Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman. It's a 20th Century Studios film, and it is based on a true story. Now, let me tell you something. When they said it was based on a true story and that a documentary had been done about it before, I gagged because, honey, this family, Mike and Claire Sardino, if bad luck had a face, they would be it. They had the worst luck ever of anybody I've ever seen in my entire life. They get together, they meet through serendipitous circumstances, and they form a very successful Neil Diamond tribute band. And the things that happen in the what's going on with my hair? The things that happen in the course of them being together it's bananas. But what I will say is that it's directed by Craig Brewer. If that name sounds familiar to you, Craig Brewer directed Dolomite Is My Name with Eddie Murphy. He also directed Hustle and Flow, which had Paula, Paula, what is Paula's last name? I can't remember. Anyway, Paula's in it from Howard University. Taraji P. Henson and Anthony Anderson. But anyway, Craig directed those films and he directed Song Sung Blue. Claire, who's played by Kate Hudson, homegirl is not hit by a car, not one time, or her house is hit by a car not once, but twice. What are the odds that a car runs into your house twice when you live on the corner? It's like, I would imagine 1,000,000 to 1, but it happens. And a whole bunch of other stuff happens. But I was like, my mouth dropped to my crack. I was like, what is happening? The really crazy thing is at some point, their tribute band got so popular that they were called by one of the members of Pearl Jam to have them open for them. And even though this is a Neil Diamond tribute band, the culmination of the film is when they supposedly are going to meet Neil Diamond after this gig, because apparently Neil Diamond has a gig in Milwaukee, Wisconsin that same night, and not everybody can go see Neil Diamond, but they can go see the tribute band, right? So Neil Diamond said that he wanted to meet them. When they go to meet him, some things happen, and I don't want to ruin it for you because it basically will just jack up the film for you if I tell you. But what I will say is that unfortunately, Neil Diamond was not at the AFI Fest because in 2018, he got diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. And so he's not able to travel and do all the things like he did. But he has lived a very full life. This is not an autobiography of Neil Diamond. Don't think that it is. It is not an autobiography of Neil Diamond. It is about a duo who formed a tribute band that was based on Neil Diamond music, and it is based on a true story. It was at the AFI Fest this weekend, and it played to rave crowds. The Choral will only be in cinemas beginning on November 7th, and it is not based on a true story. It is a fictional film written by Alan Bennett, set in the fictional town of Ramsden during World War I. The plot on a choral society's attempt to perform Edward Elgar's The Dream of Gerontius is after losing its male members to the war, exploring themes of community and resilience. This film, again, is a little bit of a slow burn, but Rafe Fiennes is magnificent in it. It's about these choral. What I loved about it is finding out the story about some of the individual choral members that joined the choir. And there's this one Black girl whose voice is just absolutely angelic. What I love is said in this film is that during war times, human beings have a tendency to be drawn to things that make them happy, that boost up those pheromones in their psyche to make the bad vibes and the sadness go away, right? At some point in this film, it said that war is not in God's plan. It is insensitive and something wonderful. There's something so wonderful about hearing a glorious voice. It moves you to the depths of your soul. I loved it for that reason, because I love music. It's called The Choral. It's a Sony Pictures classic joint, and it will be in theaters on November 7th. last but not least, baby, I saw this film, Dead Man's Wire. This is going to have an Oscar qualifying run on December 12th, but it did play at the AFI Festival this weekend with an official release date happening on January 9th and a national release date on January 16th of 2026. It stars Bill Skarsgård, who you see there in that picture, and he is wonderfully kooky, charismatic, and brilliant as a 2025 not 2025 as Tony. He plays this guy named Tony Kritzis, and Tony, and this takes place in the 70s. Anyway, it's based on Tony kidnapping this man, and he puts a wire around his neck. So let me tell you what a dead man's wire is. It is a wire that's put around one's neck and attached to the trigger of a shotgun, so that if you go like this, you go like this, you go like this, if you move your head in any direction, it'll blow your head off. That's what a dead man's wire is. So that's why the film is called that, because Tony decided that that's what he was going to do to the person that he held hostage. It's a mortgage situation movie. It's the type of thing that happens when people feel like they have no other recourse and they are pushed up against the wall. He has a mortgage. He wants to have it refinanced, and they are like, no, we're not going to do it. So he takes the person that runs the bank hostage, and shenanigans ensue. But Bill Skarsgård's performance is spot on, and it's magnificent. Again, this is a film that's a little bit of a slow burn, but it's worth the watch to watch the performance of Bill Skarsgård. Forgetting You. I keep calling this Forgetting You. It's called Regretting You. I don't know why I keep saying that. It's based on a book by Colleen Hoover, and it is in theaters right now. Now, when a devastating accident reveals a shocking betrayal, Morgan Grant and her daughter Clara explore what's left behind as they confront family secrets, redefine love, and rediscover each other. It plays out like a soap opera, y'all. It really does. And Colleen Hoover's books kind of do that, but this one more so than most of them. But Allison Williams and Dave Franco and McKenna Grace make the best of what they are given in this film. The way it all plays out, you're like, wait, what? Every 2 seconds, you're like, wait, what? And it's a little bit of comedy in there too. But the biggest thing about it is betrayal is a bitch. That's it. That is the lesson that you were going to learn from watching Regretting You, because it's like, oh my God, did this really just happen? Did this really just happen? What happens is this woman and her husband apparently are having trouble, but nobody knows it until he passes away. And then they find out that he has been having an affair with her sister. I know. And then the sister and the husband both die in a car accident. So her husband and her sister and their spouses don't even have a way to find closure. They're piecing things together through the things that they find in the car. It's sad, but you know, the jury's still out. I don't know how I feel about that one, but it was a bit of a slow burn. I did enjoy some parts of it, but I enjoyed the performances more than I enjoyed the actual film. Stitchhead. It is going to hit theaters on Halloween. It's directed by Steve Hudson, and it's about this little dude named Fulbert Freakfinder who convinces a mad professor's monstrous creation to star in his traveling circus. And I am going to let the creators of this tell you more about it than me. Take a look and a listen to the director, Steve Hudson, one of the actors, and the book writer of Stitchhead. Hi, Steve.
Hello. Hi, Kirby film critic.
Yeah, I see you brought your friends with you. I love that. Speaking of your friends and creation and everything, what was your very first creation?
I remember actually doing a production of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs as a director, and I must have been younger than 5 because that was the place we were living at, in my parents' bedroom, and it starred my sister plus all of our cuddly toys. So I think that's probably that.
I love that. I'm so glad I asked that question. That is hilarious. I love that answer so much. So let's talk about the transition for you from voice actor to voice director and how
Right.
that translates from the talent into the mic.
Yeah, well, so I was doing a lot of audio work, like voice for various other animated movies and voice directing. And obviously, yeah, once you're doing voice, once you're working as a voice artist, then you're working with lots of other people. So voice directing, I've been directing before in like theatre and film and TV and stuff like that. So that was a big thing. Obviously, moving to animation where you've just got a whole sort of different technical world, that was an animation director. That was a bigger leap. I had a lot of help. There were so many talented people around me. But what's kind of weird about animation is actually you start like by making a radio play because you got the script, right? But script is just like 90, 100 pages of typing, and all these visual guys, they don't really like reading it. But if you can make a little radio play, so we started off and right at the beginning we had no money, so we just ran into the sound studio and just recorded the whole thing, and I did all the stage directions, and people can listen to it. And okay, so it's like, listening to a podcast, it's just much more easygoing, and then they can be sketching and drawing and stuff, and to create the whole kind of world, because then if you're already reading it, it's like now you're reading to your kids or something like that. You've got a whole different level of emotion rather than just a kind of dry script. And it really helped, I think, kind of create a cohesive feeling about the whole thing, that everybody kind of knew, this is this scene, and like we had the very fast scene, and this is then the emotional scene, and this is the action scene. That really helped. So the radio play was a good place to start, and then everything else, everybody helped me loads, and they were great.
You've got so much energy. You're the perfect person to direct this kind of story. I just want to tell you that. So in this story, Stitchhead is isolated and he's forgotten by the very person that gave him life, right? Recording most of this during the pandemic, how did you overcome isolation yet still muster up the energy to be supportive and creative for yourself and your cast?
It was just really weird doing everything like this just through screens, and I guess we've got much more used to it now. And in the end, I guess it was for me a lot easier because I was constantly talking to people, and it was physically kind of draining if you're 12 hours in front of a screen every day. For other people, obviously, it was really tough. And, to be honest, like my heart was much more when I look at like medical workers or just the guys who work in the supermarket and deliver our food, and they're out there and they're risking getting infected, and they don't know, and people are dying. It was maybe tough for me, but really, I'll be honest, like I think there's a whole other bunch of people who really deserve our support and deserve to be paid more and deserve to be respected more in society. And that's much more important than any difficulties we had. We managed.
Absolutely. Look at you. You're such a kind-hearted person. That's my time, but I want to tell you right before I go, can I just tell you, I love that you put air supply in this, all out of love. That was like my favorite part. I'm just saying. I just had to give you kudos for that before I left.
The dream is like everybody's got out with their phones and the lights are on.
I love that. I love that so much. Steve,
thank you, Carla,
so much for your time. I appreciate talking to you.
It's a pleasure. Thank you for your interest.
You're welcome. Bye. There's a line in the film where one of the characters says, just because they loved you yesterday doesn't mean they'll love you tomorrow. Love has to be earned. I'm curious to know, how do you feel like this relates to the world of acting and trying to stay relevant?
I mean, sadly, there's some truth in that. I think in our world, there's a lot of people are fickle and people's memories are short, and people like to ride whatever wave's biggest. But I think more than anything, you just trust yourself and do what you're doing. I mean, in the movie, it sounds like that message isn't true. And I think the love that is most important, and the love you should be searching for, is not the love you need to earn. It's the love that's there.
So just like Stitchhead is isolated from society and at first, and then becomes a lovable member of the town, how did your personal COVID experience color how you approach this character?
Being cooped up for months sort of made everyone a bit weird. And this movie is kind of about celebrating weirdness. So I think I just embraced that. And it was a chance to kind of let loose in a studio and do some silly voices and find this character.
So having to voice act and then having to use your voice to sing, it's a lot more challenging than just doing it on camera, right? So
it's really it was surprisingly, it's really different and required you to have really, there's a sort of focus and attention to detail, which is very specific to voice acting, and not having your face to convey what you're trying to say and having just your words. You have to be really considered about what you're saying, how you say it, and the tone in which you say it.
Cool. Well, I loved you in this. You were so wonderful and lovable and great, and I enjoyed what you were able to bring to the character. Thank you for giving me a
Thanks,
slice of your
Carlos.
time today. I appreciate you.
Oh, well, have a good one.
You
Take care.
too. The B movies from the 50s and Mary Shelley's books inform your curiosity to create a whole series of books around Stitchhead?
Yeah, definitely. I was and still am a big fan of B movies. I watched a lot when I was growing up, a lot of Hammer horror. So yeah, and yeah, actually the introduction to Mary Shelley's Frankenstein mentions a guy called Erasmus Darwin, who was the sort of inspiration for Professor Erasmus, the professor in the film.
What is it about the theme for this about being isolated from society and being forgotten by the very person that breathed life into you that resonated with you for this series?
Well, that really is the heart of it for me. It's a story about unrequited love, and that Stitchhead just longs to be remembered and loved by the professor. But what it means is he ignores everything else, all the wonderful things that are in front of him. He kind of forgets about those things. And so when, the creature wants to be his friend, or, he doesn't realize how valued he is by all the other monsters and the good that he does. And yeah, so it's really a story about him kind of, I guess, waking up to his own potential and realizing that there's more to life than just being, trapped in this sort of this bubble of hope.
Well, I wish you had created these when I was a kid, because I'm serious. They resonated with me so deeply, because I was that child that, because I was a little different, felt a little isolated. And if I'd had a Stitchhead book series, it probably would have helped me understand that a little bit better. So I just wanted to tell you that as we close up this interview, how very special the story is, and how I'm hoping that it will resonate with children for many generations to come.
Thank you so much. That means a lot. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for your time today. See you soon.
Oh, it's been lovely talking to you. Take care.
Absolutely. Bye. So again, you guys, Stitchhead is going to be hitting theaters on Halloween. You're not going to want to miss it. All right, let me tell you about this next interview before we get into some other things that are going to be a little light and fluffy. So back in the day, I remember we used to always joke about how serial killers were never Black. We can't say that now, because we've seen a shift and a change, and we've seen it happen numerous times where that has not been the case. But a little while ago, when my mom was in Washington, D.C., Maryland area, she was a school nurse. She was a school nurse at a place called Benjamin Tasker Middle School. That is one of the places that the D.C. sniper hit. My mother was not working there at the time. She had stopped working there 6 months before. But every time I hear the phrase DC sniper, or I hear the name Jon Muhammad, I automatically get sent back to that day, because I remember when 9/11 happened, and I was jogging and running around Griffith Park, and my dad was a driver around the Pentagon, which also got hit. So I say all of that to say that I had the opportunity to speak to Jon Muhammad's ex-wife. Her name is Mildred Muhammad, and I spoke to her because there is a documentary that's airing tonight on Investigation Discovery at 9:00 Eastern and 9:00 Pacific. It is revealing the story from her point of view. We've heard it from his point of view. We've seen movies like Blue Caprice that starred Isaiah Washington. We've seen all kinds of things that talk about it from his point of view, but we've never really heard what she had to say, how she dealt with that, how her children dealt with that. So her and I sat down and we had a little discussion of it. Her testimony kind of reveals the chilling reality that the violence around the violence that gripped DC and these random shootings and his relentless Jon, his relentless desire to murder his ex-wife, which was what spurned all of this in the first place, so that he could have custody of their 3 children. This documentary reveals the harrowing torment that she endured, her children endured, and the lengths to which her abuser, because let's keep it real, this is a domestic abuse case. He, meaning Jon Muhammad, he did all of this because she told him she wanted a divorce. All she wanted was a divorce, and he lost his mind, literally and figuratively. So, and he would abuse her within the course of the marriage, which she talks about in greater detail throughout the documentary. But all of this happened at the cost of many, many, many innocent lives. So without further ado, I'm going to let Mildred tell you about it, but I wanted to give you an intro into it so that you understood exactly what we're dealing with here. So here is and let me preface it by saying this as well. Mildred and I are laughing and we're talking and we're having a girlfriend moment. I want you all to understand that I'm real. I keep it 100% all the time. And I am not an investigative journalist. I am an entertainment journalist and a film critic. I'm talking to somebody that's sharing their most innermost thoughts about something that happened to her and her family. But I wanted to keep it light. I didn't want it to be somber. I didn't want it to be sad. I didn't want her to feel uncomfortable. So I did me. And before y'all send me text messages and DMs and having things to say about it, I'm gonna need you to check yourselves before you do that, because we don't do hate speech over here and we don't do bullying over here. So I just wanted to preface the interview with that before I show it. Please pay attention to this interview that I did with Dr. Mildred Muhammad about Haunted by My Husband, the DC sniper story. You are literally one of the strongest, most resilient women I've ever seen in my entire life. I don't know if I would have had the tenacity or the fortuitousness to be able to withstand, let alone survive what you've survived. And I feel like you've paid the ultimate emotional price for the rest of your life. Do you oftentimes think that your calm, non-confrontational demeanor and sense of sensibility saved your life and your children's lives?
But I've always been this way. My mom told me when I was little, about 4, 5, maybe 6 years old, that her and her sisters were all sitting in the living room, and I come out of the kitchen and say, just like this, Mama, the kitchen on fire. And I walk out the kitchen. And then they see the smoke bellowing out of the kitchen. Like, what is going on? She later came. She said, why wasn't you excited? Why didn't you tell us? I said, I did. I did tell you. I said the kitchen was on fire.
It's not funny, but it is, because it's the way you saying it. You're just like, well, I tried to tell y'all, but y'all weren't trying to hear it. Ooh, that's hilarious. So
I've always, she said, that's when she knew that the world could be burning up, but inside, but I will not show it. I will be calm no matter what it is. And that has proven to be true.
And when I heard you talking and I watched the way you were speaking throughout the documentary, I was like, oh, I get her, because I'm very much that way. We process things differently in our brain when it comes to trauma, and we choose not to go there. Because I don't know for you, but for me, I know once I go there, I can't come back. So I don't even allow myself to go there. I just find a way to just flatline.
Me to stay right here, because if I go here, it's not going to be pretty. Let me bring it back down.
Listen, sis, that part right there is not gonna be pretty.
Even when he was executed, my children went in 3 different directions because he didn't call them. His attorney said that he was not prepared to answer their question of why, because he was preparing for being executed. So his mental state had to be in that moment. But my children went in 3 different directions. My son went in a room by himself. My daughter, Selena, just sat on the sofa whimpering, and my baby girl hit the floor crying for emotion, just crying out, just wailing. Went to my son first. Say, honey, you okay? He say, Mom, I'm good. Now, you know when a man says I'm good, you know how many emotions?
They not. They're not good. They're the complete opposite. Far from it.
Good, Mom. I said, okay. I respected his answer. I went to my baby girl and picked her up. You know how you hold your baby. She's 6. All of them are teenagers by now. So I'm holding her, and she's looking me right in my eyes, and I know what she's looking. She's looking for some type of emotion that I would have, because her dad was just executed. I had absolutely nothing. And when she saw that, stopped crying just like
She
that.
switched. Wow.
Honey, you okay?
She's probably more like you.
Yes. She says, I'm good, Mom. I'm good. I say, no, you're not good, but okay. Go to my daughter, Selena. She's on the sofa whimpering. And I say, honey, are you okay? No, Mom, I'm not okay. You know Dad was trying to kill you, right? Yep.
It's not funny. It's the way you in it.
Say, yes, honey, I do know that. But he's gone now. And I need you to cry. I need you to cry. And so they all cried themselves to sleep. Then the next day they come and they said, Mom, can we go to the funeral? What? Y'all really need to go? Well, we need closure. Y'all got that closure stuff from me, but okay. I took them to the funeral. It wasn't about me. It was about them saying goodbye to their dad. I sat in the parking lot while they went in. They said goodbye to their dad. Then we all came back to the hotel. And then they said, Mom, can we go meet his family? Ooh, Last time I let y'all go for me, y'all were gone 18 months. I don't know. And then my spirit said, is this quiet voice, let them go.
When women are put in a situation where we actually are the ones who have been victimized, when we are being interrogated or questioned by authorities, it's always, what did you do? What did you say? How did you cause this? And it's always coming from a man that's doing it. So it's understandable that that's the mindset that they take, because they're used to doing that.
Correct.
That's just how men, for whatever reason in this society, are raised to think that we as females or women are less than. So because they view us as less than, then obviously it's our fault.
Yes, ma'am.
You know?
Absolutely.
So on the other side of this, how have you been able, through this experience and through your work, to help other women recognize those signs of when they're being victimized, when they should be, comforted or understood? And how do you help them recognize the signs of when they're in a situation that don't feel good, how to get out, what steps they need to take to get out, and make sure that they leave as a whole person and not as a shell of the person that came into whatever situation they ended up being in?
So on the side of being asked questions about the situation, whether it is from law enforcement, advocates, or family, friends, colleagues, the first question that is always asked is, why do you stay? Why did you stay? That's a victim blaming question. Instead of asking me, why do I stay? Why don't you ask, what did the abuser do? What obstacles did the abuser put in place that made it impossible for you to leave safely? See, you can answer that. You do your surface conversation. Hey, how you doing? Blah, 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 right? Now remember, that person you know they are victims. I want you to ask one question, because this is a question nobody asks a victim. And that question is, how can I help you? Now they may look at you kind of strange, because you ain't never asked them that question. Who you been talking to? What you mean? How can I help you? Right? Because nobody asked them that. And then you let them know, hey, I'm an ally. I'm not here to do anything to hurt you. This is a conversation you and I have. You can tell them that your significant other is in on it, and we're here to help you. Now they may look and they may say, well, can you give me $1,000 to get an apartment? You already know the answer to that question. No, I can't do that. But can I come and stay with you until I get on my feet? You already know the answer to that. No, you can't do that. Well, I don't know what I need. You think about it and let me know at your time. Now, if you want to check on this person, do not text, do not email, call. 9 times out of 10, they are on the same family plan with the abuser. Leave them with the National Domestic Violence Hotline, 800-799-7233. They are equipped. They have all the resources for everyone in every state. They know who they are. They can assign them to an organization with advocacy representation that can help them. Do not leave them in the wilderness crying for help. Give them that number. You have done all that you can do, and that's okay. Don't be the hero in somebody else's story. Leave it alone. Right?
I love that. That was really wonderful advice. And I think that's a really great place for us to stop. I enjoyed meeting you and talking to you, and am so happy that you gave me some time. Why is your face in the frame, girl, while I'm saying goodbye? I'm gonna leave it in there when I edit it too.
Okay, since I didn't let you know.
I'm sorry. We do gotta
okay.
one more to get through.
It's my website, mildredmuhammad.com, if you haven't been to it.
I have been there. I went to it. Girl, I do my research.
I see. I'm just saying,
When I tell you, I was like, Robin Finn, why is your face in the camera? I'm like, girl, really? That's what we gonna do? But thank you, Robin, for setting up that interview for me with Miss Dr. Muhammad. She was lovely, and I'm happy to see that she's happy on the other side of a senseless tragedy. Again, y'all, Hunted by My Husband, the DC Cypher story is going to be on 9 Eastern on Investigation Discovery tonight. So check it out if you have the opportunity. All right. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to tell you about a film. I'm not going to talk about it because I done went way over. We're approaching the hour mark, but I want to tell you about a documentary called The Alabama Solution that is streaming on HBO Max now. And it played Sundance earlier this year. It is about the prison system in Alabama and how raggedy and rugged and rigged it is the best way to describe it. I'll have the I'll have the review on my site at thecurvyfilmcritic.com. Everything that I talk about here, I write and I put it on my site. I haven't done it in a couple of weeks, so the next couple of days I'm going to play catch up and throw a bunch of reviews onto the site, so be on the lookout. I'll do a thread stream on Twitter so that you can, or X, so that you can see all of those. All right, so I told y'all about how I did this Apple TV Plus mega junket thing, and I did 5,000 interviews. But some of the people that I did the interviews with, I'm so excited because one of them is with your friends and neighbor stars, Olivia Munn, Amanda Peet, and Jon Hamm. If you have not seen that show, it's like watching a little mini movie with every episode. I loved it so much. And it's a situation where Jon Hamm's character loses his job, and he's living this life that is extremely extravagant, but he loses his job and he's struggling to figure out how he's going to maintain this lifestyle that he set up for himself and his family. His family now has been split up. His wife has left him. She has a boyfriend, and her and the daughter are living in the house that he paid for, and he's in an apartment someplace else. But the brother is struggling. He's struggling mentally. He's struggling financially. He's not struggling physically just yet, but he's on his way there. So take a look and listen to this interview that I did with Olivia Munn, Amanda Peet, and Jon Hamm about Your Friends and Neighbors. Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Hello. Baby, y'all sent me on a trip with this show. I was totally, it was like a little mini movie every time I watched it. But what I was drawn to is there's this line that says, if it's not yours, you can't keep it, right? Mm-hmm. It was said numerous times throughout the show. On the other side of this journey of Your Friends and Neighbors, what does that mean to you now? And I'll start with Olivia.
Wow, what a wonderful. I think that in general, nothing is ours. Like it's all so fleeting, and even your children and the people in your life, you have to learn to let things go, which is really hard if you're a mom. I think, you're like, I keep thinking about like, what's he gonna do when he's 20? How do I make my children like really independent, really successful, really happy, and live at home forever? How do I do that? But you have to learn to let it go.
Let go, yeah.
I haven't learned it yet.
You will.
That is a good lesson, and I think it gets, as you get older, and I'm in my mid-50s now, you have a different perspective on stuff and what the importance of acquiring things. And some people learn that lesson much later in life, and some people get it earlier in life, and whatever. We've all had a pretty wonderful career up to this point and worked very hard for all of the things and the worldliness and the careers that we've created. But you realize at a certain point that this too shall pass, right? And we're all only here for a relatively short amount of time.
A very finite period of time.
In the galactic sense, for sure. It's about kind of using that time wisely and curating and creating a life that feeds you, certainly not materialistically, but in a spiritual way, in a soulful way, and that hopefully leads to something that extends past your time on this earth, and you give back to the people, and you let go of the things that aren't necessarily helping that journey.
Look at y'all being all deep. Okay, Amanda, you got to bring it home, honey.
Sorry, girl. You're up.
I do?
Yeah. Come on, sis.
What he said.
That a girl.
I do feel like the older I get, I'm also in my mid-50s. Is 53 mid-50s?
No, early 50s.
I'm in my early 50s. And
late 40s, you could actually say.
That's so great. I'm in my late 40s.
There you go.
And
I'm in my late 20s.
Good for you.
Wow.
Amazing.
I've just decided.
Y'all are funny.
I feel more moved by the idea that we're just passing through. And even my home, my clothes, all my things, all the accoutrements, we're just passing through. Mm. So when I was younger, I was like, what? No, this is mine. This shit is mine.
I love that. In the little bit of time I have left, I just want to glow y'all up a little bit. Individually, I've seen many of your projects and have enjoyed you individually, but collectively as a unit in this show, you all's chemistry is fire, and it's really refreshing and beautiful to watch. And I just didn't want to leave this interview without making sure that you knew that from me.
Thank you so much.
That means so much. Thank you.
That's a cool compliment. Thank you.
Yeah.
And I agree. I've never had the chance to work with either of these women, and I've always wanted to. And it's been and continues to be. We just finished shooting season 2, and we'll start season 3, I think, in next year at some point. But I love going to work, and most of that means, and a lot of that is because I get to work with these two. So it's very nice. Thank you.
Ditto.
It's a ride, and it's really wonderful to watch. Like I'm learning so much from watching you all exude your craft in this way. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
CurvyFilmCritic.com.
Nice.
Keep that
Thank
one.
y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you so
Cheers.
much.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.
I love them so much. And thank you, Olivia Munn. Anywho, I also had an opportunity, finally, y'all. I finally got a chance to speak to Billy Crudup and Jennifer Aniston about the morning show, one of my favorite shows ever. Love this show so incredibly much. I loved talking to them. I love talking to them about the show. And I got to spend a little bit more one-on-one time with my girl, Karen Pittman. We delve a little bit deeper into Mia. So take a look and a listen to that interview. And after this will be Hedda. Carla Renata, the curvy film critic.
The curvy film critic.
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get to coin that yourself? Did you?
Of course I did. It's trademarked and everything, Miss Jennifer. I don't play those reindeer games. No.
Love
that.
Gorgeous.
So I have to tell y'all, I've watched every season, every episode of this show, and I absolutely love it. Mostly because I do network news in the evening. So it's like, oh, yeah, that happened. Oh, yeah, that's good. But this particular season is a season about choices and consequences. Each of you. And I'm just curious to know, how do you feel on the other side of the season about how your choices and your consequences, especially as we get older, affect you and those you love?
Well, I think it's everything. Our choices and our will always have consequences, right? And we learn that as we get older more and more. Absolutely. And it's hard for these characters in this particular show that these characters that we're portraying, and being in the seat that you sit in as a journalist or a news anchor, it's quite challenging what you're having to battle and serve the almighty corporate world and also stay true to your integrity as a journalist. It's not an easy time to do what you do.
No, it's not.
And it occurs to me that things are coming at you fast and furious these days, whether it's on social media or your access to information. And sometimes you don't know you're making choices until the consequences appear before you for the thing that you didn't think about.
Yes.
And that's happening with a lot of the characters on the show. Things that they thought was just, a day at work, turns out was not just a day at work. Something they should have attended to in a different way. And it's hard to, with so much things being inundated all the time.
Yeah, we're not designed to take in that kind of information.
I'm certainly not. I'm certainly
not. We're actors.
Yeah.
We're definitely not.
I got that much I'm allowed to take in. And then it's nervous breakdown central. Find the morgue.
Nervous breakdown central. I cannot.
But it's true, because you are literally getting news is changing minute by minute.
Yeah.
And how do you fact check? How do you understand? There's
Absolutely.
no time, because someone else is going to get the story out, and then you miss the moment. So then you're stuck with what Billy just said, which is like, ooh, that didn't turn out as we were expecting it to.
No, all of that. I just want to close it out.
Then they like the gotcha moments too.
Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Love a gotcha moment.
I'm not that doll. So I'm really not that doll. I just want to close it out by saying I really loved the parental unit portion of this season. As someone who recently lost one of my parental units, I really loved how those storylines played out, and I don't have enough time to ask a question around that, but I just wanted to let you know, especially since you're executive producer, how much that resonated and touched my heart.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thank y'all for your time.
Thank you very much.
Renata, the curvy film critic. Hey, Miss Carla. So I've told you before, I'll tell you again, I love the transformation that Mia had this particular season. We've taken her out of the shadows and brought her into the forefront, and I love that for her and for you. But having said that, a lot of times when we have these transformations, those come with consequences, right? And so as we get older, we have to choose how those choices and those consequences affect our future, affect those that we love, and affect us as a person. Coming out on this particular season of the morning show, how do you feel like that's affected Karen?
It's interesting. I've learned this incredible thing from Mia, and I talked to our showrunner about it when we started to navigate what this shift and change would look like. It's very important to me that in Mia's journey, this doesn't look like a pathway to revenge. I want to make sure that it reflects a clarity on her part of the world. She suddenly sees the world as it really is. And for me, having Mia Jordan in this position in season 4 and do this 180, which I just think is extraordinary. You very rarely in television get a character who turns around in the opposite direction and does something completely different. For me, it's been about watching Mia choose herself over and over and over again. And in that way, it's really taught me so much. So for me as an actor and as a human being, I've learned that for me, what a gift from the writers to be able to see what it looks like for a woman to choose herself every single time. And I'm excited for the audience to see it. I've gotten so much feedback from women of color, Black women who come into my DMs and, are doing edits on TikTok to talk about how meaningful it is for them to see someone doing it, that they can talk about it now. They can talk about the areas in their lives where they've had to choose themselves. And so that's really what it's been like for me.
What I want to tell you that I haven't had an opportunity to tell you before is that, I'm a culture/film critic at Fox 11 LA here in Los Angeles. And it's very refreshing for me to be able to see someone that looks like me play out a role like this in a series that's exquisitely written, exquisitely thought out, and exquisitely portrayed by you and Jennifer and Reese and everybody else that's in the show. It's so heartwarming to see women step into their power and their strength in this series, and I just have to applaud you and thank you for that.
Well, I want to say thank you for that. It's been 7 years. I've been on this show for 4 years, 4 seasons, 7 years, and that's intentional. That's intentional on the part of people who run this show. It's intentional on my part in my career. I know we're fans of each other, actually.
Yes.
I know we've talked about other shows that I've been on. And so, in my body of work, it's very important to show women like this, to chronicle the story of Black women in culture right now in the 21st century, what it looks like to be a television news producer who has high ambition, what it looks like to be a mother, a Black mother in these 21st century time, what it looks like to be a professor in New York City, running around and looking for love. These are important women that need to be seen right now in our television industry, and I'm inspired by it, and I'm inspired by the response that people are giving me about it, and I want people to keep watching because I got more to say, I've got more to do.
I see you now and always, and I'm so grateful that you always give me time to speak to you. I adore you. I adore you as an actress and as a human being. Thank you, Karen. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
I love the morning show. I do. There, I said it. I just love that show. It is, and it resonates with me because I do have a segment that I do over at Fox 11 LA where I talk about the culture in the LA area, and I talk about films and movies every once in a while there too. And all of my producers there are women, and some of them are women of color, some of them aren't, but they're all women, and they're not backbiting, and they're not shady, and they're not trying to put me down. They're very uplifting and very supportive and just all the things. And I can't say enough about them. Their names are Daryl and Jen. I'm just going to put that out there. Daryl and Jen, I love them immensely. And I wouldn't know who Daryl and Jen were had it not been for their evening anchor, Marla Tellez. So I thank her as well as Amanda Salas over at Fox 11 LA, who's been very supportive of me in ways that are unmentionable. So again, you guys, the morning show is in a new season 4 is happening right now. I tried to curb the interviews so that I don't spoil it for anybody. I think I did a really good job with that. All right, so 2 more interviews and then we will be out of here. Ike Barinholtz is on a show called The Studio, which is also on Apple TV Plus. And this show was created by Frida Perez, who recently was honored. I think I have a picture of her up here. Let me see. She was recently honored by the, oh, I didn't put the picture up here of her. Okay. She was recently honored by the Celebration of Latino Cinema and Television, which is through the Critics' Choice Association, where I'm a member. Frida was the first Latina female showrunner to win an Emmy for Outstanding Comedy Series and Outstanding Writing in a Comedy Series. And the funny thing about all of this is that she created this show with Seth Rogen. And Seth actually he hired her to be his assistant. She started out as an assistant to an agent. Then she was an assistant to two executives at Seth's production company, and then started working for Seth. And then, like, I don't know how many years later, now she has 2 Emmys. So there's that. I just wanted to give you a little backstory on Frida and the studio. But Ike plays Sal Saperstein, who has got some issues, baby, and he is funny as hell. But Ike is always funny. And he's funny in this interview too. Take a look and a listen to this interview with Ike Barinholtz talking about the studio. Ike, my brother,
Mom.
You are crushing it in this show. But you always crush it though.
I try to crush. Sometimes I squeeze, but this one's a full crush. I think we can admit.
Oh yeah, it is. It totally is. Oh my goodness, you're so good. So as someone who has pitched a variety of times in Hollywood with various projects that you've done, whether it's been for television or film, how did you use that experience to craft your character for this show?
Almost every encounter I've had with a studio executive, I've pulled a moment here or there, kind of formed Sal. The majority of these folks that I've been pitching to for the years are great and want to do great stuff and try and are fun. And there's a couple who aren't, but I think Sal is little pieces of all these folks, kind of little mosaic he put together of all these different people. And some of them, there's moments where Sal has just a great thought. There's moments where Sal has a drug problem. There's moments where Sal's saying something inappropriate. So all these things I've encountered.
Talk to me about the dance that you had to do with Seth Rogen for this, because you guys had some really intense but really wonderful energy happening.
Oh, man. You know, I'm lucky enough where I've been working with Seth for over a decade now, which is crazy to say. And I think we just genuinely like each other, and there's just a trust there. I think we have similar senses of humor, and we've improvised a lot in the Neighbors movies, and then I did Blockers that he produced. And so we just complement each other well. I think it just kind of, we just enjoy each other. I think we just like each other.
I can see that. I can totally see that. Your character, Sal, also is making a lot of choices, which a lot of his choices have consequences, right? And so as we get older, we have to reckon ourselves with those choices and those consequences. How have you looked at that on the other side of this project after completing Inhabiting Sal?
Oh my God. That's such a good question. I mean, I think Sal, the one thing I'll say about Sal is that he loves his coworkers. And that is, I think, if you are able to work with people you love and you like, your job is a lot easier. It's a lot more fun. And yeah, and I really have been so lucky in my career to be like Sal in those ways. And whether it's this or the show Running Point we're doing, it's like if you can work with people who you get along with and you can find the best in them, you're going to be able to throw all the other shit away. And so that's what I try to do.
Well, in closing it out, of course, I would be remiss without saying, and I would like to thank Sal Saperstein.
You don't know this. Every time someone says that, Apple sends me 2 cents.
Stop it.
No, they don't. But if they did, that would be so great. And I don't know if they're watching this right now, but I would love to make this happen. So,
can we make that happen?
Come on, Tim. Tim, it's Ike from the Emmys. We had a great conversation. Let's figure this out. Let's get Eddie Q involved. Come on, guys.
Ike, you are crazy. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. I love seeing you. Tell your brother I said what's up.
I absolutely will.
Yeah.
It's so good to see you.
It's good to see you too. Thanks. And for those of you who don't know, Ike Barinholtz's brother is Jon Barinholtz, and Jon Barinholtz was on Superstore with me. He also starred in the sitcom American Auto, which was also created by Superstore's showrunner, Justin Spitzer. So it was nice to see Ike, and it's always fun to talk to him. He's always so easygoing, and the projects that he does are really great, so it's not hard to talk about his projects to him. Okay, so last but not least, Hedda, this interview, honey, with Miss Tessa Thompson and Miss Nia DaCosta. I think I told you guys about Hedda at the start. It is in theaters now, I believe. Let me just double check my facts. Yeah, it's in theaters right now, and it is a reimagination of Henry Ibsen's play Hedda Gabler. Are you with me? Okay, cool. So we sit down and we talk about that. I speak with her, I speak with Nia, I speak with Nina Haas, who plays Eileen, and I speak with the brother that plays her husband, George. Take a look and a listen to this interview with the cast and creators of Hedda. Hi, ladies.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. I feel like I need to be singing Reunited. Last time I saw y'all was for Littlewood.
Let's try it.
Reunited and it feels so good. Okay, let me not eat up my time.
Sorry.
That's all right. Y'all, I was getting a this film gave me like a queer 1950s vibe of Who's Afraid of Virginia Woolf, right?
Ooh,
and I was like, this is with like an Ibsen twist to it. But what I really wanted to talk about is the fact that Hedda a lot of times feels like her thoughts and deeds are very impulsive, yet she kind of fights against being controlled while being controlling, right? So Tessa, could you speak to that for a second?
Well, I think you said it so brilliantly. I don't even know what else I could say about it. You really hit it on the nail. I think she's a woman who is ripe with contradiction, you know. On one hand, she does things that are pretty unlovable, and on the other hand, I think she's a woman who very deeply wants to be loved. On one hand, I think her actions, as you say, she's very mercurial and can be hard to understand or pin down. Or to see clearly, but I think on the other hand, she's someone that is deeply wanting to be seen and to know that she can still be held, you know, even inside of all of her mess. And the thing that I find endearing about her actually is that I think that's something that we as humans all sort of contend with, you know, is this feeling of, you know, if I'm seen in my entirety with all the fullness of my humanity, you know, which is messy and sometimes ugly, am I deserving of love? You know, I think that's a thing that we understand as humans. So I feel a tremendous amount of empathy for her.
I feel you. I feel empathy for her too. But before I get up out of here, Nia, can you talk? I heard you talking about using breath as a percussion in terms of the score. Could you expound on that just a little bit for me before we go?
Absolutely. My first conversation with Hilda Guthendaughter, our composer, I said, I kind of want to figure out how we can use breath in the score as punctuation or percussion. I'm not really sure. And the breath became this thing that was so tightly attached to Hedda's internal life. And we kind of took that and ran with it when it came to the percussion in the film. We have three kinds that we mostly use: drums, wood, glass. And they all sort of mapped onto a different part of Hedda's psyche, a different process of the night, of her brain worrying. So with glass, we usually see her looking around and putting the pieces together, identifying the pawns, and then figuring out how she's going to move them on the board. And then with the drums, that's when we're seeing the result, usually, of what she's put into motion. And then the wood, I think, was really interesting because it's a bit of a kookier sound. So it was really the whimsicality of Hedda is what the wood represented to me. And the breath was this thing that kind of pulled, I think, everything together.
Thank you for that. And in closing, I just want to congratulate you, Tessa, on your impending AFCA and Gotham Award honors that are coming up. And I wanted to thank you both for giving me a slice of your time today. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
Bye. And since you both are very well versed in the classics one way or another, I wanted to know, on the other side of this project, has it made you look at love with optimism or skepticism? And has it made you redefine what feeling stuck and being caged in really means? And I'll start with Nina.
Oh, wow.
What a good question. Wow, good morning.
Thank you.
Good morning to you, too.
Oh, my brain is like switched on. What I started thinking about, I think, is this: why do you sometimes
go for the things where you know that's probably not good for you. And you we're always into that direction because you think this is more exciting, or this is something that's where I feel myself. So from when I see it from Eileen's point of view, it's like, why does she always look for the closeness to Hedda? You know, what, and the same in a way with George. What do these two want from her? You know, what does Hedda give to them? And why is someone fascinating, even though they're manipulative or they're, you know, but they're exciting. And what is that excitement that they create? So I was thinking about that, I think, and to kind of give in, again, from Eileen's point of view, if you have someone like Thea who's really good for you and makes you feel whole, as Eileen says, then that's something to really also cherish and take on. You know, it's maybe sometimes that humans are afraid to accept that they're being loved, you know. The fear of being loved is something that is very interesting to me. And maybe that's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
Mm. And I'm also with this fascinated in, like, to love someone, you have to really see them. You have to know who they are truly, not who you wish them to be, or you project onto them, nor who they are pretending to be. And this is a fascinating piece because no one's really themselves. I mean, there are moments of it where the characters really do talk to each other, and truthful, I feel like mostly for you and Tessa, you and Hedda, Eileen and Hedda. But for the most part, a lot of it, particularly with George, it's sort of what he wants Hedda to be, and he loves this idea of her, but it's not truly who she is. So that idea of, I think truly to love someone, you have to love every single part of them, the good and the bad, and be totally open and okay with it and no judgment. Not only okay with it, you celebrate who they truly are as a person.
And let them be that.
And let them be who they are. And I just think that doesn't quite exist in this piece, actually. It's people pretending to be things and pretending to perhaps love someone for who they truly are when they don't really know them.
See, y'all understood the assignment. I knew y'all would give me a great answer to that question.
Yes. It was a great question, though.
Yeah. Thank you so much. I would love to delve into it a little bit more, but unfortunately, that's my time.
Oh,
Thank
my God,
you
so quick.
so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Give me
much.
a slice of yours. I appreciate you. Okay. Finally, that is it. So, guys, let me go back and we can go through everything so I can tell you what to watch. Make sure that you check out Springsteen Deliver Me From Nowhere, which is in theaters right now. Hedda is also in theaters right now. Nuremberg, The Coral, and Dead Man's Wire are coming soon. The Coral is coming on November 7th. Nuremberg is coming on November 7th. And we won't get a chance to see Dead Man's Wire until December 12th, but all of these films were part of the AFI Fest, which I had the immense joy of checking out. Stitchhead is coming to theaters on Halloween for the spooky season. Song Sung Blue is going to be coming to theaters. When is that coming out? Let me just double check and make sure I know when that's going to hit. I don't have a release date for that, but I will get back to you on that one. And you can check my blog, thecurvyfilmcritic.com, to find out about that. Check out The Morning Show, which stars Miss Karen Pittman and Billy Crudup and Jennifer Aniston, along with Reese Witherspoon. And this season, they have Marion Cotillard, who I did an interview with before. Your Friends and Neighbors is on Apple TV Plus. You don't want to miss that one. And of course, check out The Studio, starring my boy Ike Barinholtz. I think I got through everything. When I come back, it won't be as long of a show because I won't have this many interviews. And oh yeah, check out Regretting You, not Forgetting You, but Regretting You, which is in theaters right now. It began playing on October 24th. And check out Hunted by My Husband, which airs tonight on Investigation Discovery Channel, 9 p.m. Eastern, possibly 9 p.m. Pacific, if not 9 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Pacific, which is happening very shortly. When I come back, y'all, I will be talking about Robin Hood. Let me come back on that. Come back on the camera so y'all can see me, so you can see my face. I'm so stupid. I'll be talking about Robin Hood. It's a new series that is coming to Amazon MGM on November 2nd. So on November 2nd, I will be talking to the cast and crew from that. I'll have Cassandra Freeman from Bel Air. We'll be talking about the 4 seasons that she's done there and what she plans on doing next. I may talk about Anniversary. It's a film that hits theaters today. It stars Diane Lane and McKenna Grace. McKenna Grace is a working diva. It's a film about tensions rise and loyalties are tested when a couple meets their son's new girlfriend, a radical young woman who's part of a controversial movement known as The Change. Check out Alabama Solutions, streaming on HBO Max right now, and it played at Sundance earlier this year. In the coming weeks, I will have the cast of Palm Royale, which stars Ricky Martin, Laura Dern, Amber Sade Robinson, Kristen Wiig, Mindy Cohn. That's Amber Sade Robinson right there. And Josh Lucas and Kaya Gerber. I will have all of those people. Plus, I'll finally get closer to airing my interview with Jeremy Irons, which included some spoilers, so I wasn't able to air that previously before now. And coming up later, we'll be talking about Wicked for Good. Yes, it's that time of the year where we talk about Wicked, and we'll be into the Thanksgiving season where I will be talking about another film, or a TV series rather, called The Artist. Thank you so much for popping by, whether you have been here in real time or not. I appreciate you for stopping through. I had seen some comments in here from Brandon earlier, but now I don't see, I don't see them. I don't know where they are. Where are they? Camp to some destinations. I don't know where it is, but I don't know where they went. So anyway, thanks, Brandon, for popping through. I know you said some things and I wanted to give you some love, but I don't know where those comments went. They just kind of disappeared. All right. Again, everything that you see on here that I talk about is in written form at thecurvyfilmcritic.com. And that's it, y'all. I'm late to go to a screening right now, so I'm going to pop up on out of here. And I thank you so much for popping through. Love, peace, and hair grease. And I'll see you on the flip side. Bye and deuces.
Hold up. Wait a minute. I wish you love, peace, and hair grease.
Love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.